Hello students and welcome to the automobile engine class. Myself Sankho Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandrasu Degree Engineering College under the JIS group. So students, in the few of last classes we already started the discussion about the module number 2, and here in the module number 2 is covered basically the constructional features, function and the working of the automobile engine. And for that, for there, as an automobile component, we already discussed about the cylinder, piston, connecting rod and the crankshaft. Now in today's class we started the discussion. Now in this class we started the discussion about the camshaft. So student, let's start the class on the camshaft. A camshaft is a rotary rotate is a rotating object that basically contains the pointed cam, which convert the rotational motion to the reciprocating motion, which converts the rotational motion to the reciprocating motion. So as camshafts are basically yeah, the camshafts are basically used for to opening and closing the valves. Here the valves means we are talking about the inlet valves and the exhaust valve in a appropriate time. When it is made up of various different cam found on the common shaft. As the camshaft contains same number of cam as the number of valve in the engine of the engine. So the camshaft. So basically the camshaft is a rotating object. Camshaft is an rotating object which contains the pointed cam, which contains the pointed cam and which convert the rotational motion into the reciprocating motion with the help of the opening and closing of the valves in the appropriate timing. So these camshafts are basically used in the IC engine, mechanically control the ignition system and early the electric motor speed controller. So these camshafts in automobiles are basically made of steel or the cast iron, are basically made of steel or the cast iron, and they are a key factor. They are a key factor in determining the RPM range of an engine's power band. RPM range of an engine of an engine power band. So here you can see in this picture, these are the various types of camshafts are there. It has a two camshaft. It has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 camshaft. It has 6 camshaft. This one is the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 camshaft. Here is the 1 2 3 4 5 6 camshaft. So these are the basic pictures of the camshafts. So this cam basically driven This cam or the cam this these things which is known as a cam. This cam is basically driven by the timing gear. This one is called as a timing gear or the belt which is located at the front of the engine. The gear and the sprocket of the engine has twice as many teeth or notches as on one of the crankshaft. So the gear, the sprocket of the camshaft. This one is called the gear or the sprocket. Gear or the sprocket of the camshaft. Camshaft, which has the number of twice numbers of teeth or the notches as one on the crankshaft. So number of notches of the crankshaft. If we consider there is a number of notches that is near to 25 notches are, assume that there are the 25 notches are there on the crankshaft sprocket. So obviously in the timing in this the gear or the sprocket of the camshaft, it has number of 50 notches are also available. So this result in 2 crankshaft revolution, and it control the 2 crankshaft revolution for each revolution of the camshaft. 2 camshaft revolution and control the each revolution of the camshaft. So the camshaft turn at 1/2 the crankshaft needs in all the 4-stroke cycles engine. When as the camshaft turn in at 1/2 the crankshaft speed in all the 4-stroke cycle engine. So students, here you can see this picture. This one is called the camshaft pulley. This one is called the camshaft belt. This one is the crankshaft sprocket. Here is the crankshaft. This one is the connecting rod. Here is the piston. Here is the cylinder. These are the valves where one is for inlet, one for the exhaust. These are the cams. One is used for the opening, used to open the inlet valve, and one is open or close the exhaust valve, and this one is called the camshaft. So these are the basic picture of a camshaft when it is fitted inside the engine. Now coming to the history of the camshaft. The camshaft was basically described in the year of 1206 by the Muslim engineer Al-Jazari. He was employed as a part of his automata water raising machine. He employed it as a part of his automata water raising machine, and the water clock such as the castle clock, and the water clock which is called as a castle clock. Among the first cars to utilize the engine, when utilize the engine with the single overhead camshaft, where the must sleigh design by the Alexander Craig and introduced in 1902. So basically the camshaft was first used in the car by the by the Alexander Craig in the year of the 1902. Then the Mar auto car design. Then after that the Mar auto car designed a vehicle Michigan native Michigan native Walter Lorenzo Marr in the year of 1903. So these are the basic history of the camshaft. Now coming to the functions of the camshaft. The camshafts are basically used. The camshafts are basically used to operate. Are basically used to operate sorry to operate the valve train. Here the valve train means the inlet valve and the exhaust valves operations are. It is talking about the operation of the inlet valve and the exhaust valve. So the cam slopes are the cam shapes or contour. The cam shapes or contour is the major factor. The cam shapes and contour is the major sorry is a major factor in determining the operating characteristics of the engine. The lobe on the camshaft, which is known as the cam, open the valve against open the valve and open the valve against the force of the valve spring. The camshaft lobe or the cam basically changes the rotary motion which is in the camshaft into the linear or the reciprocating motion on the valves. The cam lobe or camshaft lobe or shape has more control over the engine, performance characteristics, than does any other single engine part. The engines are identical in every way. The engine is identical in every way except the cam lobe shape, which may have the completely different operating characteristics and the performances. So these are the basic functions of the camshaft. Now coming to the various types of camshafts are there. There are basically the two types of camshaft are used. One is the push rod type camshaft and one is the overhead type camshaft. Now we are here to talking about the push rod types of engine or camshaft. Basically, when we are talking about the push rod type of engine, so that engine camshaft are located on the inside the engine block. Here the camshaft is supported in the block by the camshaft bearing. Bearings, and it driven by the crankshaft with the gear or sprocket and the chain drive. So students, as you can see in this picture, this one is the crankshaft. Here is the crankshaft sprockets are there. This one is the connecting rod, this one is the piston, and here this one is the cylinder. So this crankshaft sprocket are connected with the camshaft sprocket through the drive chain. So here the drive chain is used as a connectors in between the crankshaft sprocket and the camshaft sprocket. The camshaft sprockets are fitted on the camshaft, where the this one is the cam, and on the cam of the camshaft, the tappet and the push rods are fitted. Tappet and push rods are also fitted. So this push rod, which is fitted with the connected with the rocker arm assembly. As the rocker arm assemblies are connected with this tappet push rod, so this rocker arm helps to opening and closing the valves in the inside the engine cylinder. So this is called a push rod type of engine. Now coming to the overhead camshaft engine, or which is called as OHCE. So here engine does not use cam bearing. Here, as the overhead camshaft engines are used, so these engines are basically are not use the camshaft bearing. Here the camshaft run directly on the aluminum cylinder head. So you can see in this picture, this one is the crankshaft, this is the connecting rod, the piston, and this one is the cylinder. So here the crankshaft sprockets are there. So this crankshaft sprocket are connected with the camshaft sprocket with the help of the belt drive or toothed and non-stretched types of drive belt. So this way the camshaft, in this way the camshaft sprockets are driven by the crankshaft sprocket, and after that the camshaft sprocket are fitted on the camshaft. So as this camshaft sprocket are rotate, so this camshaft is also rotate. As the camshaft is rotate, the cam is fitted on the camshaft, so cam is also be rotate, and when the cam is rotate, and it helps to opening and closing the inlet valve. So this is basically called the OHCE, or overhead cam engine. So here in this modern vehicle, there are another types of engine are also available, which is called the double overhead engines. It is called a double overhead camshaft engine. Here double overhead camshaft engine means it has two different camshaft or which is placed at the engine overhead. As you can see in this picture, this one is the crankshaft, this one is the crankshaft sprocket, and here the two camshafts are available. Here the two camshafts are used for the two purposes. One camshaft is used open and closing the inlet valve, that's why that camshaft is called as the inlet camshaft, and another camshaft are used to open and closing the exhaust valve, that's why the another camshaft is known as a exhaust camshaft. So in this way this double overhead camshafts are working. So these are the basic things of the basic types of engine classification are there on the basis of the position of the camshaft. So when the camshaft are fitted on the inside the engine block, that time the engine is called the push rod engine. When is camshaft is fitted on the overhead of the engine, and that is called the overhead camshaft engine. And when double camshaft are used or fitted on the overhead of the engine. That time the engine called a double overhead camshaft engine. Now coming to the crankshaft gear or the sprocket. Here the crankshaft gear or the sprocket means which basically helps to drive the camshaft, and which is usually made a sintered iron, and which is fitted on the one end, is fitted at the one end of the crank shaft. So here you can see in this picture, as this one is the crankshaft, and this is the one end of the crankshaft where the crankshaft gear or the crankshaft sprockets is fitted, as well as this is the push rod types of engine. So here is an also a crankshaft gear, and when we are talking about the overhead camshaft engine, so there is also the crankshaft gear or the sprockets is also available. When the gear are used, when the gears are used, the camshaft gear teeth, the camshaft gear teeth must be made. When the gear are used, the camshaft gear teeth must be made from the soft material to reduce the noise. So usually the whole gear is made of the aluminium, so that's why the whole gear is made of the aluminium or the fiber. So there are the basically, so this crankshaft gear or the crankshaft gear or or sprocket gear or this sprocket is connected with a chain, and the camshaft sprocket made of the iron, or it may have an aluminium hub with the nylon teeth for the noise reduction. So there are the two types of timing chains are basically used, which is called silent type chain, and another is a roller type chain. This is a picture of a silent type chain. Here the or this silent type chain is also known as the flat link type chain or the Morse type chain. These types basically operates quietly, operates quietly, but tends to stretch, and it tends but it tends to stretch with the uses. And another types of the timing belt, which is called known as the roller chain type. So here this is type is noiser, but it operate with a less, it is produce some kinds of noise, but it is a less friction and the stretches less than the silent types of chain. So these types of chain and roller types of chain are basically used in the camshaft engine as a timing belt rather than a chain. Now coming to the rocker arm of the camshaft. Basically, when we are talking about the push rod types of engine, so that time assembly which one is fitted on the fitted on the cylinder head, and that is called as a rocker arm, which is known as a rocker arm. The rocker arm basically reverses the upward movement on the push rod to process a forward movement on the tip of the valve, and they are basically designed to reduce the travel of the follower cam follower and or the lifter and push rod while maintaining the required valve lift. So these are the base picture, and this one is the picture of the rocker arm. Now coming to the picture of the rocker arm assembly. So this one is the rocker arm. This is an elaborate picture of the rocker arm assembly. This one is called the rocker arm shaft. Here is the shaft plug and shaft washer are also available. This one is called the retaining pin. And this one is called in between these this one is known as the rocker arm, and here is the and this is the called the rocker arm shaft supporter. Here is the it is called as a rocker arm shaft supports, and this one is the rocker arm shaft spring. So these are when you compile these things and a single unit, and that is called or known as a known or as a rocker assembly. So students, here today in this section we are covering the constructional features and the various kinds of functions of the camshaft. So in the next classes we started the new topic. So still then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you so much students. Thank you very much.